Hello again, and we're back on Seven Rivers Talk with Bob Burrell, and my guest today is Bill Feehan, who is running for the La Crosse County Board. That election will be on April 6th of 2010. And so we're trying here on Seven Rivers Talk to give all of you some sort of a good content, basic information about the county board seats, as well as gubernatorial seats, as well as people running for the U.S. Congressman here. That's Dan Kapanke against Ron Kind. And that's what Seven Rivers Talk is about. Well, if you want sports, you can go to Seven Rivers Sports on another, I think that's on a Wednesday morning. But Seven Rivers is a program series that runs every evening, weekday evening, from 5:30 until 6, and then you can see a replay the following day at 6:30 in the morning. I'm talking now with Bill Feehan, as I said earlier, and before we get into your three-point talk here, Bill, relative to taxes and budgets, and you want to listen very carefully to that. Just quickly about your background. I know that you used to live in Minnesota, and here you moved to Wisconsin.
Yeah, I was offered a job to move here to Wisconsin 14 years ago, and I work for a global food manufacturing company called Unilever. We make a lot of the products you see in your grocery store, like Ben & Jerry's ice cream. That's one of people's favorites. And I moved here to work with the people at Reinhardt Foods. Today I work as a chain development manager for Unilever. And in addition to that, my wife, Sue Colby, has the salon and day spa in Onalaska, and we also have the cosmetology school in Onalaska. So my role in our businesses is to watch the finances and to help manage the budgets.
That's fantastic. You have a really diversified business background, Bill, and but you're new to politics, which I think is probably a very popular approach these days, because from everything we're reading, I think people want somebody who hasn't been in politics all their life,
right,
or something like that.
Well, I think what people generally agree on is that taxes are high, and we're spending irresponsibly at every level of government, whether it's the city, the county, the state, or the federal government. We're just spending more money than we have, and we need to find ways to slow that down. And what I can tell you as a business owner is we start with the bottom line, and sometimes we have to make really difficult decisions. Last year we had to eliminate a couple of jobs, and we know these people, and you hate to have to do that. And I think it's time that our county government started to make some of those tough decisions so we can give taxpayers a break.
You have a three-point program,
right,
that you have talked to me about, and can you explain that to our viewers?
Well, I believe that there are ways that we can reduce county spending without having an impact on the services that people come to rely on, especially in difficult economic times like we have right now. The first thing that we can do is we can put a hold on future building projects. As many are aware, we're building a new transportation center. We're also making a big addition onto the law enforcement center. And so one way we can ease the burden is to stop building new projects and incurring new debt.
And it's those kinds of projects that are really, they're tax exempt, so they don't really produce any income, do they, for the county?
Right. We obviously need to have a law enforcement center so that we can support our criminal justice system. However, one thing we'll see is that the debt retirement burden is quite large, and we'll continue to make payments on the old law enforcement center through 2015. That's 6 more years of $1.5 million in annual debt service payments, and we'll be making payments on the new building at the same time.
Wow.
So it might have been a good idea to wait until the economy improved before we did that.
Probably a very, very good idea. What's your second point?
Well, the second point is that in the current budget, and we'll see this on one of the slides, the increase in wages for county employees is $1.25 million this year.
Put that slide up as you're talking. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. And so the thing about this is, as we go back to the people I've been talking to, there's so many people that don't have jobs. There are so many people that are on fixed incomes where they're not getting raises. The people that do have jobs aren't getting pay increases, and at the same time, we're increasing the wages for county workers by 3%. Wow. I think at a time like this, we can ask them to hold the line on wage increases and help us through this difficult time. Had we done that, we wouldn't have had to increase property taxes at all in 2010.
Right. There's a real issue, I think, statewide and nationally, as well as locally here, relative to federal and state public employees, where I think where the salary levels and the income levels are reaching almost now maybe a little higher than private income for similar type jobs. Across the board, from a federal viewpoint, looking at the whole United States, I think we've almost reached a 50% level, 50% public employees and 50% private employees.
I'm not sure what the exact percentage would be, but what I can tell you is I've looked into some matters concerning our own budgets here in the city of La Crosse, and this isn't under the county board, but our La Crosse school district superintendent will make $188,000 in salary and benefits this year.
Well, I think I went into the wrong location with that. 180,000?
Right, and a La Crosse high school principal in the city of La Crosse will make $159,000 in salary and benefits this year. So you know, Bob, long ago when I was in high school civics class, they told us you can go to work in the private sector where you'll be better paid, but you won't have the benefits and job security, or you can go in the public sector where you might make lower wages, but you'll have better benefits. And the truth today is that public sector employees are paid very well.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a third point.
Well, the third point that I have has to do with a program in the county government called Justice Sanctions. And this is an alternative sentencing program. And the cost of that program has risen from just under $400,000 in 2005. This year that program will cost city and county taxpayers $2.2 million. So that's about 8% of the county tax levy this year. Obviously, when you have a program that's increasing that much, you really have to look at that and make some judgments. My opinion is people that are in that program should have to carry the cost. It's a benefit to them not to be incarcerated.
And how does this relate specifically to the county, this program?
Well, it is a county program, and as 8% of our discretionary budget, it's placing tremendous pressure on the county budget, and it's a reason that taxes are going up.
Wow. So as you're looking today at the county expenditures and the incomes, is the county able to match all of its expenses?
Well,
with today's revenues,
we are matching we don't run a deficit.
All right.
But some things that can happen is we can increase our borrowing on things like roads. One of the things that happened in the current budget is that we shifted money that would have been spent on highways over so that it would look like the increase in county spending wasn't as great this year. It actually would have increased about 5.2% instead of the advertised 2.7% if we had not done that.
So that was kind of like a little shell game, are you saying?
Well,
in terms of diverting funds that have been allocated here, but now they're over here?
I'd label it a misallocation of funds.
Okay. All right. We're talking to Bill Feehan, who is a candidate for the county board. That election is coming up on April 6th. And we'll be back in a moment again to talk with Bill now and kind of wind the program up relative to what his druthers would be relative to being on the county board and what he'd like to see improve as a candidate on that board. I'm Bob Burrell. We'll be back in a short while.